Well, here come the leather-clad boys then. That was the action in the paddock. This is the action on the track. And there, on pole position, is number 6, Chris Bishop, coming into this series just an event ago and having a thoroughly good time. The onboard camera, as usual, carried by number 69, AJ Hutchinson. And look at that, right in the middle of the track. That was Jack Sim, the most amazing get-off right at the start. Well, I wonder if we'll be able to just pick up a shot of that again. Meanwhile, on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, running up under the bridge into the hairpin at Druids, we're on board with AJ, the young Irish rider. Just on our left there, and just in front of our nose, is James Dye, the series leader, coming into this weekend. An uncharacteristically poor qualifying for him, and not such a good start at the moment. But AJ staying with him, like all these riders, learning the Grand Prix circuit, has very limited use during a race season, and not a lot of them have that much experience of the Grand Prix loop. AJ, well, he's seeing all these circuits for the first time this year. As they run over the top of the rise, under the bridge and up towards Hawthorns, it is Rob Guinan that leads from Steve Smith, and the entire field peeling through there. No sign of Jack Sim, he hasn't caught the pack yet. Down the Derek Minter straight they go. Rob Guinan still leading. Rob, one of the few of the leading runners not to have picked up a race win. Surely it can't be long, and back at the start. Well, let's keep an eye on Jack Sim, and oh, bucking Bronco, get off my bike. And wonderful avoidance by the pack. What a lucky boy. There he goes, full of right hand, and he's completely off the bike. And how they miss him? Well, miss him they did. What's he going to do? Get back on and ride the thing. Why don't you, boy? Well, Rob Guinan's still up the front, but his little lead has been closed down as they run once more across the start finish line up towards Paddock Hill Bend, and Steve Smith running it down the inside into Paddock, and he takes the lead. Michael Booth tucks in behind. 4th place is Chris Bishop, who is the leading challenge runner, but Rob Guinan loses that lead. Now, there in the chasing pack, we can see Ollie Linsdell and James Wainwright. James, the elder of the 2 flying Wainwright brothers, as we come down the hill from Druids, in the company of AJ Hutchinson, through Graham Hill Bend and chasing. Ooh, thank you very much. Get back on board, AJ. And down Cooper Straight they run into Surtees, and there we see the TDG bike, which from this race till the end of the season will be ridden by the series leader, in this case James Dye. But up the front it's Rob Guinan having a look at Steve Smith, can't find his way through. There we can see Greville Ball. There's Ollie Linsdell chasing Greville. Greville, the second of the challenge runners behind Chris Bishop in this particular race. Chris, as a guest rider, will not be taking points, though, off the challenge runners in this championship race. As down the Dipper Dingle Dell we go, and up into Sheen Curve. Some of you may remember this as a tight chicane, but it's been returned to its former state. A lovely sweeping right-hander down into the dished corner of Stirling's, one of the very few genuinely dished left-hand corners on any race circuit. As the leaders come back onto the straight, Steve Smith with that little advantage. Ollie Linsdell there, a little bit closer to Greville Ball. Head down and charging. There the leaders go. And look at Ollie lining up Greville as they run down towards Paddock Hill Bend. And crossing a line there, our camera bike with AJ Hutchinson on board. And up at Druids, it's Steve Smith in the lead. Chris Bishop challenging Rob Guinan for outright second place, and he nips through on the inside. So Bishop up to second. Rob Guinan there in 3rd place as they run through Graham Hill Bend. On the back of that bunch in 5th place and running certainly his best race for some while is Michael Collins, number 71. As the leaders once again through Surtees, there's Michael, the younger brother of Bob Collins. And under the Johnny Herbert Bridge they go once again. Bishop getting quicker and quicker, and he's got past Rob Guinan, and he's towing himself up to the leader. There, Michael Booth in 4th place with Michael Collins for close company. And the varying lines, they run down that Derek Minter straight. And there at Hawthorns, it's Hi-O Silver, it's Jack Sim, and he has caught the back of the pack. Well, after that, well, could have been an absolutely appalling start. Maybe he'll get some points out of this yet, as the leaders come through Clearways once again onto Clark Curve and the Brabham Straight to complete another lap. there we can see Greville Ball just heading that little group as the leader, Steve Smith, once again down into paddock, being chased by Chris Bishop, who's broken the toe, back to Rob Guinan. And up into Druids they come, and Chris would like a piece of this. There's Rob Guinan under pressure now from Michael Booth and Michael Collins, who's been caught by Ollie Linsdell. Ollie in 6th place and chasing hard as AJ tips it into the hairpin at Druids. And now we see the midfield bunch as they run up the hill into the hairpin, and there Jack Sim, well, after that horrible start, he's caught the pack, just gone past Sarah Jordan there. Sarah, a newcomer to this series, but already a race winner this year up at Cadwell Park in the Thunder Bikes. Chris Bishop, pressure on for Steve Smith in the lead. Bishop closing, and he's soon going to be right with Steve Smith. Rob Guinan in 3rd place. Well, it's a clear 3rd at the moment. As AJ once again, this lovely shot from the camera bike as we run through Westfield and down the wicked little dip into Dingledale, up the hill into Sheen Curve, and you can see completely blind the exit of this corner, over the bump in the middle of the corner there and down towards Stirling's as the leaders once more back with us. And Chris Bishop, well, he's as close as you like, but still as yet can't seem to do anything about Steve Smith. Well, Steve looks like being at this rate the leading young gun home, but can he win the race overall? Chris Bishop having a little look at Paddock Hill Bend, and Bishop, well, he gets a wonderful exit from Paddock, and Steve is going to have to give best to that. Chris Bishop it is that he's up into the overall race lead. Steve Smith staying right with him, and the two of them towing themselves away up the road, away from the opposition. And into Druids, we can see Pete Middleton there, another of these series newcomers, number 3, as the leaders come down once again towards Hawthorns. This time Steve Smith, it's his turn to ride shotgun, see whether there's a chink in the armour of Chris Bishop, as Rob Guinan in 3rd place. He knows he's comfortable behind, but can he do anything about the two ahead? And there, a superb battle behind him between Michael Booth and Ollie Linsdell. Both of them race winners this year, but fighting it out over 4th and 5th at the moment. AJ once again down into the dip of Dingledale, and you can see this glorious wooded circuit here, but back at the front it is Steve Smith who's back in the lead. He's got ahead of Chris Bishop. Rob Guinan still there in 3rd. Chris Bishop having got the lead, he's now going to try and do it all over again, and he's got the run down into paddock, but Steve Smith keeps it. He's got the old right hand down, he keeps it poured on, but he's running wide of the exit, and thank you very much, says Chris Bishop. Through he goes, back up into the lead. But look how they're battling at paddock, has allowed Rob Guinan to close in on him. Is Rob going to pick up a chance here right towards the end of the race? Behind, Michael Booth has lost out to Ollie Linsdell. Ollie up into 4th, and there we see AJ once again under the bridge, up into the hairpin at Druids. Great stuff, and what a glorious sound these triumphs make into the sharp left-hander of Graham Hill Bend, and then the blast down Cooper Straight. Meanwhile, at the front, Chris Bishop back in front again, and Steve Smith, well, he's now got to look over his shoulder because Rob Guinan is right with him. Steve doesn't have the overall lead anymore, but he is the leading Michelin young gun. He needs to be careful. As down into Hawthorns, there's AJ with the camera bike, and right behind him is Jack Sim. Jack, fresh from the Burley Horse Trials at the start of this race, and he runs up the inside of AJ. There he goes, so he picks up another position. This is a great recovery ride by Jack, and AJ says, oh, I'll have a bit of that, and Jack says, no you don't, but it's last lap time, and it's a checker flag. It's awaiting Chris Bishop, and he comes off clearways. He is going to see the flag first. It is a win for Chris Bishop, just from Steve Smith and Rob Guinan. Chris is pleased with that. He knows he's been in a bun fight. That was good racing from Steve Smith. Couldn't quite do it. He'll be miffed because he led so many of the laps. But the win goes to Chris Bishop.